In the globalized world, with our bustling population of 7 billion, the Earth is already strained, with increasingly industrialized populations requiring more and more resources. As our population is projected to reach 9 billion by 2050, and food demand is expected to rise by 70%, we are short of meeting everyone's needs. Coupled with climate change, we cannot support this surge in population without sustainable use of resources and scientific advancement in our food production methods. What we need is a genetic revolution.
GMOs are the answer to this vexing problem. A GMO, or genetically modified organism, is something that has had its genome or its DNA modified. We use the term genetic modification for natural processes like crossbreeding, while the term genetic engineering is applied to deliberate manipulation using recombinant DNA techniques. This genetic modification method has been a key component of our agricultural system since the beginning of agrarian societies.
All of the crops that we eat are genetically different from what they were like 1,000 years ago. Everything, even traditional, organic, corn is a good example, right? Corn was developed by Native Americans over the last several thousand years. It does not exist in nature. Those Native Americans, the early breeders, they modified the genes that were in the ancestral form of corn that we call teosinte, and that is what gives us modern corn. It's not genetic engineering, it doesn't use recombinant DNA techniques, but it is a form of genetic modification, without doubt.
Genetic engineering is the term applied to the deliberate manipulation of an organism's genome by humans via recombinant DNA technologies.
And ordinarily when we talk about GMOs, what we're really talking about is genetically engineered. So it is a source of confusion.
Everything we eat right now has been genetically modified, but I'll concede that what we're probably talking about when we use the label GMO is transgenics, which means manipulating the genome with specific chemicals and altering it in such a way to get a specific result.
Compared to traditional genetic modification methods, genetic engineering is a more precise and rapid way of altering an organism's genome.
That it's better to manipulate a single gene to get a single outcome than, not better, but it's more controlled than when we use kind of standard practice, which is just crossbreeding. You're shuffling around thousands of genes.
We can utilize this genetic engineering technology to improve crops to have favorable traits such as immunity to diseases and increased nutritional value. In the face of global warming and ever-increasing population growth, it is necessary to grow crop varieties tolerant.
This papaya is infected with papaya ring spot virus. This virus nearly wiped out the entire production of papaya on the island of Oahu in Hawaii. Then, a local Hawaiian, a plant pathologist named Dennis Gonzalez, decided to try to fight this disease using genetic engineering. He took a snippet of viral DNA and he inserted it into the papaya genome. This is kind of like a human getting a vaccination. Now take a look at his field trial. You can see the genetically engineered papaya in the center. It's immune to infection. The conventional papaya around the outside is severely infected with the virus. Dennis's pioneering work is credited with rescuing the papaya industry. Today, 20 years later, there's still no other method to control this disease. There's no organic method, there's no conventional method.
We already talked about golden rice. It's a great example of improving on what nature has given us with rice. Rice is a staple food for billions of people around the world, but it is deficient in vitamin A, and as a result, we see, particularly in poorer countries, children going blind and even dying because their major food source is rice.
According to the Genetic Literacy Project, golden rice is genetically designed to produce beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A. Despite the fact that the modified rice is considered an ideal solution to the problem, its development remains stalled for both political and technical reasons.
Multinational biotech companies patent their genetically engineered genes in crops, charging royalties for seed use, even requiring farmers to purchase new seed every season under penalty of law. These aggressive business practices have led to unintended consequences for farmers, including litigation for unintentional growth of GE crops in their fields. Yet these gene giants do not symbolize the potential of GE technology, nor future marketing practices for GE crops.
So it's not only the big companies, and if you're going to refuse to accept biotechnology or genetically engineered crops because you don't like big companies, well, you're also hurting small companies and public institutions as well.
Consumers are also concerned by excessive pesticide use, including Monsanto's Roundup that has led to pesticide resistance amongst weeds and insects, and even harm to unprotected users.
Consumers are now shopping for alternatives. They advocate for a labeling of GE crops and are choosing organic and non-GMO project-verified options.
Organic and genetic engineering methods share the same end goal of producing crops in a sustainable, environmentally friendly manner, but by different means. Why not take aspects of organic farming and apply it to GE processes?
And there's no reason scientifically why all of our farmers can't grow genetically engineered crops, particularly those that are designed to be used in a more sustainable farming system, including organic.
Genetic engineering can provide sustainability and innovative farming techniques to provide for an ever-growing population. Rather than creating frankenfoods, GE technology utilizes an enhanced and precise version of the natural process of genetic modification to improve crops, potentially resolving food insecurity and feeding millions.